Oh, did you drop your snowball? Here. Be careful. Hi everyone, welcome to the Knitting Den. This is episode number 144 and today is Tuesday, December 30th. One more day until we break into a new year. My name's Denise, excuse me, and I'm also known as Knitting Den on Ravelry and Instagram. If you want to find me over there and friend me, that would be awesome. I want to welcome, if you're watching for the first time, new viewers, welcome, thanks for joining us. It's great to have you here, and to everyone that's tuning in, coming back to sit down and chat with me, welcome back guys. Before we move on, what's in my mug? It does not look appealing at all, does it? No, it looks like dirty dishwater, but it's not. I'm drinking, Talia, lemon water, warm water. There's supposed to be a couple of slices of fresh ginger in there, but I've ran out. But for the past few days, or past couple of weeks actually, I've been starting my morning off with a warm cup of fresh ginger and lemon. I've been reading a lot of health benefits about it. I won't go into detail, you can Google it. But I still like my coffee in the morning, I like my chocolate biscuit, which I haven't got right now because I've kind of already had them. But when Kristen was going to school at 6 o'clock in the morning, I was having this warm drink and then seeing her, walking up to the bus stop with her. And then when I came back, I would have my morning coffee. I still enjoy that as well. But I thought I would, in order to talk about it, I thought I'd have a sip with you. The new year's coming up and we all like to start eating better, looking after ourselves and all that kind of thing. And I do plan on doing some things like that. I think other years I've been more inclined to get right into a diet, a good diet. That's not my plan this year. I am going to, my goals are to get walking again, eating lots of fruit and veg, which we've been doing because we're juicing, and I'm going to go into those kind of things probably the next podcast, because that is, we'll be into 2015. But yeah, it doesn't look very good because you squeeze the lemon juice in. I have chapstick on, so it's making my glass all greasy. Bindi has settled down, you can see her there. But it's refreshing, it's nice. I won't need to drink all of it, but. So welcome back, and welcome, and how was your Christmas? Oh my God, I kind of missed you guys. Obviously Christmas has been and gone, but every day, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, Boxing Day, I've thought about you guys all week. Every time I did something that I told you I was going to do, or I had showed on the podcast, I just thought of you and felt like you were there actually. So like the Christmas pudding turned out absolutely fabulous, and I made my own brandy sauce. I'll have a quick little video of that, which I'll insert in a minute, because I tried to do the lighting, like not flambe, but you pour the brandy over it and you light it and you let it, you see all the blue flame and then it burns off. I did that, first time ever, so super excited. But before we get started, and saying a few thank yous as well, snow. We've just had so much snow. And I took a little video yesterday. We did get some on Christmas night, and it snowed through the night, and we had, it looks like 5 or 6 inches, but I'm sure it's more like 7 and 8, if I went out there with a ruler. So we got that Boxing Day, which is the day after Christmas. And it didn't melt, but hubby managed to get the driveway cleared. We have a snow blower. So the driveway was clear. We got out one day, and Sunday night it was forecast to snow again, and so it was yesterday, all day yesterday. It was snowing, absolutely freezing cold. And when I say freezing cold, I'm talking less than 10 degrees, and that's Fahrenheit. And I didn't work out what it was Celsius. Maybe I'll put a number up here. This morning I showed on Instagram a picture of the weather forecast. This morning at 6 when I took the dogs out, I have to take them out on their leash and we have to shovel an area for them so the snow's not too deep. It was -6 Fahrenheit. And that, because on the weather thing I can hit the little Celsius button, that's actually -21 if you were back home in England, because I know you use the Celsius or centigrade. -21, and that's just ridiculously crazy. But snow looks beautiful. The path and the driveway got all covered again on Monday, so I took some video and I'm going to insert it here. I do chat on it a little bit throughout it. I'll edit and cut out some bits that maybe is boring. But here's a couple of minutes of a wander up the drive and a view, looking around again. If you're not interested, fast forward a couple of minutes, but here you go. Sit back and relax and watch the snow. Hi guys, it's Monday afternoon. We're getting more snow. We had a good 5, 6, maybe more inches the day after Christmas. Hubby cleared the driveway yesterday. It had dried and cleared, but as you can see, and you might be able to hear, crunching underfoot, we're getting another good covering. I've cleared the path once here, but it's already kind of covered over. I thought I would go up to the mailbox to see if there's any mail and take you with me, and you can see a winter wonderland while we have it. It might be very shaky because it's kind of difficult walking in the snow. Here we go, look. Yes, I'm still in my pyjama bottoms as well. And some bits are really deep. So if I stumble, it's because I'm not watching where I'm going. I'll get up to the top of the driveway and then I'll turn around. I should have put a glove on. My hand is getting very icy cold. So when it's snowing like this, the sky is as white as the ground. And then sometimes, well, often the next day, we'll have bright blue sky and still lots of snow on the ground though. It's getting quite deep up here. Look at that. Anyway, of course there's a car coming, so hold on. So I'm at the mailbox and I did just spy something. Okay, let me zoom up a bit and show you. See if we can have a little quick pan around before I head back down. My fingers are bitter cold. So, wasn't that? It's just so beautiful. And I don't mind that it's cold so long as I can stay in a warm house, and I feel so very blessed to be in a warm house. So I'm dying to hear how your Christmas was. So in this episode, what I was trying to say, the group thread, in this thread for this episode, I hope you can pop in and say hi and tell me how your week's been and how your Christmas was. As I said, I've been thinking about you all this past week, and I hope you've all had a fabulous time with family, friends. We don't see anybody, real people, but I see my family on FaceTime. That's the next best thing, and I had a fabulous time doing that for 2 or 3 days this week. Before we move in, I'm going to keep glancing at my notes. I've got quite a lot, and this might be a long podcast. Yay, says some of you. I do want to say a few thank yous. I have not brought everything up here that I got over Christmas to show. I was sent cards and some tea in the mail, and I was sent some gifts in the mail. But I didn't bring everything. But I do want to say a huge, huge thank you to those that did send me cards and gifts. I just totally appreciate it, and puts a huge big smile on my face. I want to thank everyone that left a message in last week's thread. I have not got around to, again, replying to that, to those messages because of the time of year and it's been busy. But I thank you, and I might get round to just sending you a little hi back. I want to thank everyone that, I always forget to do this, that leaves messages in YouTube. I read them, I see them. I was trying to respond to some. I'm not sure if you get to know if I've responded. It wouldn't let me respond this past week, and I think it's because somehow it signed me out. And you're going to have to excuse me for rubbing my nose because it's getting itchy and I'm just having a little bit of a hot. Okay, so I want to thank all of you guys. Bindi and Boo want to thank all the fur babies out there for their kind Christmas wishes and for sharing pictures in the Ravelry group. Loved seeing them. I just loved looking at them. And I've been trying to respond and say hi back at you, and I'll keep on doing that. So I really appreciate you putting pictures in of your fur babies or your feathered babies or your scaly babies if you have your dragons and your snakes and all that. But I love all animals, but I'm just not, it's not necessary to touch all of them or let them crawl on you. So, but each to their own. I know some of you guys have some beautiful reptiles and all that kind of thing, which are fascinating, but not as snuggly to me. But anyway, thank you. And let's see, I know I've got some other thank yous. Let's see. Oh, so before, again, now that I've rabbited on for a few minutes since the snow video, let me insert, before I forget, the Christmas pud. You pour it on and then light it?
Yeah.
Here goes nothing. Just all over it. And the light. Merry Christmas, everybody! And you let it burn off. Can you zoom in? Are you seeing the flames? There you go. Oh, it's thickened. You're going to have to heat this up and then pin it. Oh, don't get this one. Are you videoing? We'll scrap that bit until I get it all nice texture. So that went really well. At the end of the video, if I remember, I'm going to insert quite a few Christmas pictures if you want to sit back after the show, so to speak, and watch them. They'll be at the end. But with that, let's move into knitting. So yeah, this is the last show of the year, 2014. And if you've been watching all year, and if you have, thank you so much for still being around. Last year, and I think the year before, I made a list of things I would like to knit. And I've done it the same this year. But I went through the list. I think I kept it on my iPad, which is a good thing because I never remember what notebook I've written them in. But But I was making notes yesterday and I went back to the list of things I wanted to knit this year. And I have to tell you, I did not get many things knit that was on my list. And where was it? What did I call it? Oh, that wasn't it. And I know the reason for that. What did I list it under? Oh goodness, let's have a look. I put it in the notes. Here we go. I know a lot of the things didn't get knit because of my year-long knit-along, which I've talked about all year as I knit things, which was part of the Little Lippy You group on Ravelry. And so I don't have all pictures to show you of what I'm going to mention. And I've got to say this as well before I forget. Tilly Trout, sweet Tilly, mentioned in one of her previous episodes, or just past episodes, about notes for the podcast, and that we won't find any from her. And I'm going to have to follow in her footsteps and say, I'm not going to keep saying I'll try to get notes written. Like Tilly mentioned, she loves podcasting, and you know I absolutely love this. Love sitting down with you, chatting away. But I'm like Tilly, I don't enjoy writing the notes or thinking about having to write the notes and link up to everything I might have mentioned. So as awful as it might sound, I'm going to stop doing it, or I'm going to stop trying to do it, and I'm going to stop saying I am going to do it. If there is anything that I talk about that you want more information on, or if you didn't catch the name of the pattern and you haven't gone back to, watch the video twice, I wouldn't expect you to do that, just PM me. I love hearing from you. I will reply as quickly as I can, and it's usually that same day or the next day if I haven't, seen the message. So, no show notes. But, and so I'm saying that because I might mention patterns here and you'll be like, what was that? And then you'll go to the thread and I didn't link to them. I don't intend to link to them. I did break it down into some sections. Clothing that I wanted in it, accessories, toys. Don't you dare, Bindi. No. Toys, shawls, and I think that was basically it. So, wow, I had high expectations this year. I wanted to knit the olive basket cardigan. I do have the yarn for it. I wanted to knit a top that, all of these, oh no, not all of them is tops. Well, they are, sweaters. Alice in Wonderland, it's a short-sleeved top. Autumn's End, which is a sweater from the Botanical Knits 1 book. I wanted to knit that. I had put down I wanted to knit a shrug with some Noro sock yarn. I had never found a pattern, so I never did it. And last year I saw a sweater pattern, or a cardigan, big chunky cardigan, I wanted to knit, and it was called the Fezziwig sweater, which kind of had some meaning to it because I think last year we read Christmas Carol, and obviously Fezziwig was, the boss of Scrooge when he was younger. Never got any of those things knit. Accessories. I've put half a dozen or more cow patterns here, and I don't know why. Maybe I thought I'd knit them for other gifts, I'm not sure. I did put down the biscuit cowl, and I'm not sure why I put that, because I did get that knit last December. It was before the new year, because it was the gift for the neighbourhood ugly sweater party for the girls, and it was one of the gifts under the tree. So that did get knit. And then I put ivy trellis mittens, and again I think that's out of the Botanical Knits book, and I didn't knit them. I think I intended them to be for part of the year-long knit-along, but I chose something else. I've put the Shallows cowl, jewelled cowl, fir tree cowl, Harlow cowl, heavenly cowl, and red fern cowl. I don't even know what these things look like now. I'd have to look on Ravelry myself. But I didn't get any of those knit. Toys. Turtle. I did knit him, and gosh, I feel like it was so long ago, but it must have perhaps been at the beginning of this year. 2014. I did knit him, he was fabulous, in the exact yarn that was dyed for that pattern from Dancing Dog Dye Works, and it was Susan Claudino's pattern. Noodle, another Susan Claudino pattern. I was gifted that, I haven't knit it yet. Francis the Fox, the sock wearing fox. I knit that. That's a Jenna Krupa pattern from Retro Lemon podcast. That was for the year-long knit-along. So I knit the fox and knit a pair of little socks for her. Romeo Bear, and I can't remember who the designer is, which is very detailed work in her bears and rabbits and things. I have that pattern. Did not get him started either. Shawls. I've put down the Cedar Grove shawl and the Basilica shawl. Didn't knit either of those. Now, I could insert here what I did knit, but I think they're on my Ravelry page if you want to see what I knit, and if there's not too many pictures I might insert them at the end, but it might not be everything I've done. As I said, I did knit a lot of things, 9 items for the year-long knit-along. I knit another 3 items as gifts. So, yeah, there was a lot got knit, but just not from that list. So with that said, and I hope I'm not boring you because there's a lot of chatting about this, but it's the new year in 2 days and I love to make goals. I don't make resolutions, but I do like to set goals, especially when it comes to my knitting. So this is what I've written down so far. In the same sections, clothing, I do want to finish the Iwi, which was a long sweater, flowy earline sweater. I feel like I'm chopping my head off. From Barocco Knits. I do want to cast on for the Lauren sweater, which I'll chat about a little bit more in knit-alongs. I would like to knit a really fabulous pattern, a cardigan that I put into the queue recently, and I was gifted the pattern. It's La Passionaria, that's how I'm saying it. I would need to look and buy yarn for that. And I would like to knit a sleeveless Madeira. It's called Madeira, that's how I'm pronouncing it. And that is with Barocco Linus yarn. And I bought that at the local yarn store, so it would be nice to, make that a project and get it finished because I have the yarn for it. For accessories, all I've written down is a teapot cozy, tea cozy. Because Tilly Trout is starting a tea cozy knit-along this month. I'm not sure if it's the 1st of January or I think actually it might be the 12th. For some reason I'm thinking the 12th of January. That's all I've put in accessories so far. I've not got any intentions of knitting mittens and cowls and that just yet. For toys, now, toys I do have a lot down here. Some of them I can't mention because my goal is to knit friends toys this year, but make them, small ones for their Christmas tree. That is one goal I'm going to do throughout the year, is knit ornaments, and they'll be part of Christmas gifts for my knitty friends at the end of the year. So I will mention I have put down Romeo Bear, who I didn't get knit this year. I would like to try and knit him. I've got Gelato Giraffe here, Miss Gelato Giraffe, and that's Kia's new pattern from the Bakery Bears podcast. I've got another pattern I can't mention because the person would probably know that it's for them. Winter Mice, I was gifted the pattern, and who did that recently? I know Diane from Knitables did it not long ago, but she's not podcasting now. And I think Kia from the Bakery Bears has made one. But anyway, I was gifted that. I love the pattern. I do have yarn for it. A Yuletide gnome, and that's the Alan Dart pattern with the gnomey. I've been wanting to knit this thing for years. So I might knit that, and it might be for my brother. That's one of my goals. Another pattern I can't mention, because you might know it's for you if you're watching, and another pattern I can't mention but I've made a note of. Moving into shawls. my goal. I would like to finish my Avalon shawl, and here goes my glasses falling off my head. Avalon shawl. I did not work on it this week, so it's not going to be in the what's in the den section. I would like to finish it though, and I'd like to finish the hanging leaves shawl from the Botanical Knits 2 book. That's 2 I've got on the needles. I would like to cast on at some point. Sorry, I'm staring at the hair again. My Legacy, which will be a lacy shawl. Don't want to say that in case you can hear it down there. I would like to cast on the Lunar Tide shawl. I was gifted that pattern just for Christmas, and I have some yarn in mind, and it's got a lot of garter stitching, which I love. I'd like that on the needles, but perhaps I have to finish the Avalon and the hanging leaves. And I've also got down here, I think I'd like to do the gunmetal shawl, again, which was gifted to me. I had put it in my queue, and I've got some yarn in mind for that. So with that all said, I have written down here a couple of more things, not to knit, but that's my plans for 2015. Sorry if it sounded long-winded, and you know, if you could have just fast-forwarded if you were getting a bit bored with that. I do have written down here, I really, really would like to get my stash into my Ravelry page, get it listed, even the needles I've got and the magazines I've got. Like, I used to list the magazines. I would like to get organised and do that. It's one of my goals. And if you plan on trying to do that, or if you're really good at doing that, give me some motivation. Send me some encouragement, or ask me if I've been doing it, because I really need to be held accountable for that. I'm not very good at doing it. One of the other goals, which I've not written down there, I would like to get finished the log cabin blanket. I've got 2 on the needles. I am going to focus on the plain cream coloured one for my bed, and that I am going to get motivated with that, and I will be held accountable, so to speak, because Sarah from the Apple Blossom and You podcast is having a year-long knit-along for the blanket, a blanket cow. I think she's got that going all year, so I'm going to look into that. I'll read her posts again on her group. And the last thing, with all of these things I've just talked about, I need to transfer this information into my knitting journal that I started a month or so ago, after Danny from Little Bobbins Knits showed us hers. So I do want to keep on. I've stopped, I haven't done it for a few weeks, but I want to get back into writing all my notes in my knitting journal, keeping little samples of the yarn, putting the yarn band in there, things like that. So with that said, I'm going to close the iPad for now, for a little bit. Alright, wow, that was a lot of chatting. Okay, so let's get into some of the sections. What's in the den? I like this part, especially if I've been managing to knit things. Okay, I don't know why I keep having to touch that. I've mentioned I didn't work on the Avalon shawl. I don't think I picked up much. I didn't bother showing it. The hanging leaves shawl. The 2 things I've worked on this week are in my bag here. On Christmas Eve, Danny from the Little Bobbins Knits podcast was having a cast on, a knit along, or it was a cast on along really, wasn't it? Socks. She was asking if anybody wanted to cast on a pair of socks on Christmas Eve. And tons of you and me said, yeah, that would be great. So I did cast on. I put a picture, I thought, have I shown you this? But no, I put a picture on Instagram this week. Because I think I mentioned it last week, that I did talk about it. And I said, I'm going to try the 2 at a time again on Magic Loop. Only ever tried this once, got like 5 rows done, was so tangled up with the yarn. I just pulled it out, couldn't stand it. I thought it's not worth it. Now, I am just a little tangled up right now because I've pulled the yarn out of the bag, and you know, some of it's, there's a lot dangling. But what I did, the yarn, this is fabulous, fabulous, I'm not sure what the colour's going to look like. This is the Christmas Pud stripe, Christmas pudding from my sweet Michelle, Dancing Dog Dye Works yarn. She's Woolly Love on Ravelry, and it is sport weight. Left the label downstairs again. That's another thing. I really, really want to get better at keeping the labels with my yarn until I finish the project. But what is, I have to tell you, I am loving this. And again, I'm just a little tangled because the yarn that's come out of the bag has got a lot of, it needs just winding up a little bit. But I am loving 2 at a time, and I just don't know why I've not tried this method before. Again, I should say. I don't know why I just didn't give it a try until now. But I have done, and I've got to tell you, this is probably going to be the way I go. It's going to be the way I knit socks from now on, because I don't like to use the word hate, but I really, really, really dislike casting on a second sock. So what's making this easier? Let me show you the socks first then, because look how much I got done since Christmas Eve. Ah, look at that. They're almost finished, sort of. And look how the stripe, isn't that just gorgeous? We've got the red stripe, and then we've got the Christmas pudding colours, the brown and the white for the brandy sauce, and the green for the holly on top, the red with the berries. And I just love it. Now, these are top down. I have been for the, you know, for quite a long time knitting socks toe up. I used to always knit top down with a gusset heel. Then I discovered I do like using magic loop and not DPNs as much, so I started, I was knitting them, you know, from the toe up. Fish lip kiss heel was fabulous, just, you know, discovered that this year. So, they're going great. I decided to do top down. I'm going to cross my legs. Let me tell you why I decided to do this pattern. It's not actually, I wasn't following a pattern just yet. I was following a video from Very Pink, Stacey I think she's called, I always forget her name. She's got lots of videos on YouTube. Excuse me guys. Verypink.com is her website, but you can find her as under Very Pink on YouTube, and she has videos on how to do. Lots of people have, but I like listening to her videos. Very informative and clear and easy. She shows you how to cast on, which I basically knew, and so, but I followed and watched and you know, did it her way. And what I've done is I went and actually split the yarn exactly, got my scales out. I've never done this before, and I always wondered, how did you do it? So what I did is took my skein of yarn, put it on my Swift, and skeined it up into a cake, one full cake. But I left it where I could grab the centre, and I took it off the winder, and I just sat it on the scale, and I wound half of it, and it was not flying everywhere because I was pulling from the centre. And it worked out fabulous. I wound and wound and wound until the scale showed me half of the weight. And so I am knitting from, now, and this is the thing, because I've pulled a lot out and then not knit it, that is a lot, I'll not unwind that one yet. I kind of unwind this. I'm trying to see where it is now. There. Here we go. So because I'm pulling from the centre on both of them, they're not flying all over the place, and I'm not getting all twisted and mixed up as I'm knitting. As I said, it's just a little twisted right now because I had a lot of it pulled out, ready to knit the next rounds. So it's going well, as you can see. And I was going to use Stacey's pattern. You know, I made up the numbers. This is sport weight, so I'm using a size, oh gosh, what was I using? 3. I went down to a 3, and it's turning out really good. The fits, I mean, that's a good guess because I didn't swatch. And I've cast on 48 stitches, 24 on either side. Did a loose, stretchy cast on, like Stacey had showed in her video, and they're great. They're going to fit. And I'm going to turn the heel. And so I went back to Stacey's video, and she tells you how to start the heel. She's made up this new heel, she said. She hasn't seen it before. Tells you how to start it, but says the pattern will tell you how many times to decrease and then increase. She shows you how to decrease, but just a couple of times. Then she moves on to how you increase, and then you have to go look at the pattern. So I thought, okay, I'll go look at the pattern. And I went to her website and I found the pattern, and it was $10. And I didn't want to buy it. I mean, it's, you know, it's Christmas, and the amount of money that we've already like forked out. I thought it's not necessary. There's so many patterns out there. The Fish Lips Kiss Heel I have already. So I didn't want to buy the $10 pattern, so I stopped. In fact, I had to pull out a few rounds because I had started decreasing while I was watching Stacey. So my goal is to go back to my Fish Lips Kiss Heel pattern. I've done those, but I've done them toe up, but I know you can do it, same thing, toe down, top down. And I'm going to just do the Fish Lips Kiss Heel to turn my heel, and then I will knit until, you know, it tells me that I have to start decreasing for the toes. So another lengthy explanation, sorry, but that is 2 at a time socks, and I'm just thrilled to say that it's going so well and I'm really enjoying it. Love it. And let me find the bag to put this back in. This is in my Knitting's My Bag bag with my sheepsies on. It was in Kia's Christmas bag. Sorry, I'm getting an itchy nose again. I'm sure there's bindi fur flying around. It was in Kia's Christmas bag, but I put my blanket, my log cabin blanket back in there. Okay, wow, take a breath. The other thing in the den, oh my gosh, there's my bag. Okay, first of all, a new bag. I made this with a fat quarter, and it was going to be a prize. I was making it to send out for the finished object thread prize, and I was not happy with it. It's not good enough. If I wouldn't put it in the shop to sell, I'm not going to send it as a prize. And I'll tell you why it's not good enough. It's good enough for me, it's fine, it's well made, no different, but I did not like the fleecy, I don't know what to call it, that I line the bags with, the iron-on fleece that makes them nice and soft and sturdy. It was a bit thick on the edges of this bag, and I didn't like, this is how particular I am, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, I didn't like that I could see these stitches, because it looks as if it's just pulling, and it's, you know, they might snap. I doubt they will, but I just didn't like that they might. And I think on the bottom, I can't see it now, I thought it would look like that on the bottom. Here, my project's going to fall out, so let me zip it up a second. I wasn't happy, Bindi, you've got all your hair here. I wasn't happy that I could see these stitches. I know it's a bit blurry because this doesn't focus, and you could see the white line which was the edge of the fat quarter. I wouldn't sell something like that. I'm so particular. I would not sell that because I can see the little white line along the bottom as well, and I can see a few stitches. So it's fine, it works, it's great. You know, if I didn't need any bags, I could have put it in the sales section perhaps. But I love the fabric, I love the colours. I made a little Zeded Bupper pill to go on it with the tree, because it's flowers. I figured I'd put a tree on it. And so yeah, I just whipped that up in the past week or so. Now, what I put in it last night I'm already doing something on my I want to knit list. I want to knit this year in the toy section. I bought Gelato Giraffe pattern, Miss Gelato Giraffe. Everybody must have already seen it, but in case you haven't, you could be a newbie, you could be, hold on, I've got to find it, you know, you could have just started watching podcasts and you might not have heard about it. I've got to go to the library to pull it up. I bought the pattern last night. Oh, it's just fabulous. And Kay, the designer, Kay Jones from Bakery Bears podcast, come on, Lord. She also has the pattern, Mrs. Bakery Bear. This is her new pattern. And I just have to show that in case you haven't seen it, because it's just the cutest thing ever. And I didn't get it as soon as she released it. I mean, Christmas was coming, I was getting busy. So yesterday I just had to get out on the needles. And so, what am I going to say? I am using some yarn. Yeah, I'm sorry, my hair's just driving me bonkers. A few weeks ago, I started knitting a pair of slippers for the year-long knit-along. Didn't like how the fit was. I only knit one slipper. Didn't like it, and I said I might knit the second one and keep them for me, or I might just totally pull them out. And I pulled them out. Oops. So this was what I was using. In fact, I haven't unpicked the slipper yet. So this is the slipper. You might remember it. I love the colours. It was a flat, you knit it flat and you had to seam it. So I've unseamed it and I'm going to pull it out. The yarn is the Hermione colourway from Gnome Acres in the Worsted. Do I have the label? No, I do not. Do I know where it is? No, I do not. Hopefully I'll come across it at some point and I'll stick it in my journal. So I know I do remember it's the Hermione colourway. And that was the first slipper, and then I had some left. And I don't know why I've got two, can't remember why, but I've got these two left. I'm knitting from one, or I did knit from one. Oops, oh, it's rolled away like a snowball. And I'll pull the slipper out when I need it. And in the, I didn't know what to use as a contrast, but I found this pink. It's just worsted. It's probably just acrylic, I think. I don't even know where it is, but it's the same thickness, and so I wanted the little pink accents. So do you want to see her? Oh my gosh. I only started this, I won't say yesterday, but really, I started this last night. I mean, it was early evening, 6 o'clock. Ah! Look! Oh my gosh! She's not fully stuffed under here, because obviously her legs go in as soon as you've finished stuffing her. But look at that sweet face! Isn't that adorable? Oh my gosh, I love her. Love, love, love her. She'll not be the only one I knit. I love knitting with this, variegated yarn, and Kay has knit a few with Michelle's yarn, Dancing Dog Dye Works, and I have some worsted weight, waltz worsted that I know I'll have to get on the needles. And I think I'm going to keep her because she's my very first one. But I think if I make more, I'm going to put them in the gift box. And I think I might. I didn't want to knit for anybody. I don't like knitting for anybody, but with the kids, my little nephews and nieces in England, I think they would love toys, and that way I don't have to worry whether a hat or anything I knit them fits. So I might think about knitting them all a toy. The shipping will be ridiculous because the box is going to have to be big, but I don't care. It's once a year. So, what do you think? Kay's pattern, oh my gosh, even to tell you exactly where to put the eyes, fabulous. Now, I'm going to say this if Kay's watching, because we've gone backwards and forwards, because I'm having a little issue. I've done the nose, great, it's just like Kay did, I'm fine. But what, in case she's watching and she doesn't know how I'm trying to explain in an email, what I thought the pattern said, and I'm not going to say too much because it's a paid for pattern, but what I'm trying to say, Kay, is if I come in through the back of the head and start, push it out, do I push it out at the left side here, which might look right to you, I don't know, this is left for me. I pushed it out here, and then I pushed it in to the right side. It said go into the right side, but that gives me a line across the top. And so that's what was confusing me. So what I did was, I came in through the back, I came into this hole, and I think I went down to that one on the top, pushed it through, and then at the same time pushed it through and pushed it straight out over here, and then looped back around and pushed it in to give me a V. I'm terrible. I read patterns and I confuse myself totally. I know there's nothing wrong with a pattern, but I was just trying to see if I could make sense of what I was trying to tell Kay. It doesn't really matter because Kay's got fabulous pictures on the pattern, and seriously, Bindy's hair's getting all over. Her, you know, the pictures and everything that she does, the figures on there, really helpful. And I just copied it because sometimes I read things and I like interpret it my way, which is often the wrong way. So anyway, that is what I got done yesterday afternoon. Seriously, I would be able to finish her tonight. 2 legs and 2 arms, and then a little sweater, and obviously more stuffing. What a fabulous, fabulous knit. I tell you what, I cannot wait until Kay's next design. She's just phenomenal. So thank you, Kay. Fabulous, fabulous pattern. Oh my gosh. Oh, and for the record, I can't put her down. She's not going to have a name that begins with a G. I was going to call her Gigi, but because the yarn is called Hermione's colourway, I'm calling her Hermione. This one's little Hermione. Hermione Giraffe. No, not really. But she's going to be Hermione. And the other ones I might not name, I might let the kids name, I'm not sure. Okay, so, oh my gosh, how long have I waffled on and I've only shown you 2 projects? And that is actually all I do have to show you. So, nothing left the den, but oh my gosh, she'll be off the needles soon. She's fabulous. I did finish the mittens, but I showed you them last week, and I've had a chance to wear them. We'll move quickly into some chatting about the knit-along, or knit-alongs. I'm doing a knit-along, the very first for the group this year. It'll be the only one until July, and it's for the Lawrence sweater. And again, because I haven't showed it for a little while, I will pull it up. It's called, yeah, I just said, sorry. It's called Lawrence. It's a short-sleeved sweater. And I'm going to do this knit-along with Sarah and Matt of the of the Apple Blossom and You podcast. The thing is, I have to get some yarn. I've picked yarn twice from my LYS, showed you it. The last one I showed you was like a violet colour, and it was kind of cotton. It was Barocco's cotton, modern cotton. I don't know why I picked that colour. It's just, I'll find something to knit in the springtime with that, but it's just not, it's not going to work for this sweater. So I think I will do Barocco vintage. I just need to get back down to the yarn store when I can get out of the driveway and pick some. And it might be something like a blue like this or a grey for the winter. Sorry about the glare. You can probably see me, we can see the Christmas tree in it, I think. But that's the sweater, big, nice cowl, but short sleeves, and it's got some lovely patterning down the side and on the back. You'll see it if you can see it here. There's some patterning there, and I love, 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 love. Sorry, you're seeing the Christmas tree, aren't you? I'm sorry. I love the garter stitch, so I'm excited to get that on the needles. I asked Sarah, it's not shrinking, go back down. never mind. I don't think I need to show you anything in there. I asked Sarah, I'm getting hot again, sorry, what day that she was going to cast on, and she did say January 1st. I thought originally, oh my gosh, I think it's snowing again. It is. I originally said it might be mid-January because January 1st is too early, but we are wanting to make this like a 2-month knit along. So I'm going to say, I'll go along with Sarah, cast on January 1st or any time after that. And it's going to end at the end of February, last day for me, last day of February. Unless Sarah's doing a different date, I will end the same as Sarah. So that is the Lawrence knit along. Now, I'm sure I wasn't dreaming this. I was watching Penhook Needles podcast. It cut off there, so that's why there might have been a little gap. I think Talia and Melisha mentioned a sweater cowl, and I think that's a new one starting January. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought that's what they said, and I wanted to ask, and I'll PM them if I remember, if we can double dip, because the Lawrence is a sweater, obviously. So that is something to look into. And I mentioned earlier, Tilly Trout is having a tea cosy along, and I've got to, I'll have yarn in to do that. I'll definitely have yarn to use. I just haven't decided on a pattern yet because there's so many absolutely fabulous, fun tea cosy patterns. But I want to join in with that. And so really that's everything to do with knit alongs. Prizes for the Lawrence one to be determined. I'll get to that later. And so let's move into show and tell. Some Christmas goodies. I didn't bring, as I said, everything up. I did forget one skein of yarn. Actually, 2, but that's okay. I've got plenty to show. Look at this dog. Are you comfy? Okay, some of the things. I do want to say thank you. Again, Talia and Marlisha, they sent me a Christmas card and actually put in, and I'll go grab it. Oh, I love my magazines and books. They sent me the Knit Simple. Isn't that sweet? I love it. I won't go through this one. There's so many things I want to mention. But I love reading through it, so I just wanted to say thank you. It was a sweet, and some candy in my envelope. I want to thank everyone that did, I think I mentioned it in the beginning, that sent me Christmas cards and a tea to try. I've personally thanked you, so I just want to say, you know, I don't want to mention names if you don't want to be mentioned, but I say thank you. And I forgot to bring up I didn't use it today. I got a Mickey Mouse mug off my sweet friend Kimberly, Sock Bunny, and I was going to use it. So that's another, I love, it doesn't have to be the Starbucks mugs. Hubby realised that I'm being sent, sometimes I swap things and get the Starbucks mugs, or I'm being sent gift mugs. And he thought it would be a nice idea to build a shelf in the craft room that I can display them all, and not hide them away in the cupboard, and display them, and then as I pick one for coffee, I'll, you know, be able to think of the person that sent it. And I thought that was so sweet that he would think that. You should have them all on display, he said. So, Mickey Mouse is one of my newest ones. And in my year-long knit-along, I did get one from New York. It was a Dunkin' Donuts one. Didn't know they were doing destinations. Don't fall, please. You want to come over to see Mama? No, she always walks away. Do you want to come? Every time I try to pick her up, she'll walk away. Okay, so a few things. I'm not going to show you them all either. I had a box. This was the box came for the year-long knit-along things. I'm going to show you a couple of things. Here, I just want to grab a few. One of the I'm going to put that away in case it spills. Hold on, Bindi, I can't pick you up, so just go settle down. One of the months, I think it was the December one, we didn't have to knit something, but it was a skein of yarn. Look what I got sent! It is Dancing Dog Dye Works, I think I'm upside down there, sorry, twist sock, and it's the Beans for Frou colourway, which I never got. Oh my gosh, I love it. So colourful. And Frou is Wendy from the Sassy Pants Knitter podcast, who you may know that went through some treatment this year for leukemia, and this was a special colourway for her. So I got that. I'm going to cast on, might do a shawl or something with that. Bindi, do you want to come up? Stop it then, or I'll take you out. I love this, I got a hitchhiker, which I've never had time to do for myself. Now, I have put pictures on my Ravelry page of all of these items. I haven't looked on the person's Ravelry page to see what the yarn or anything is. I could do that, I guess, if I want, but it doesn't really matter. It's just lovely. So I have myself a hitchhiker, and I just love it. Look at that. Bindi, do you want me to pick you up, or am I going to... Do you want to go outside? I'll be back, guys. Hubby's taking her out. Okay, so I was going to wear this as I recorded, but I get pretty warm, so I just wanted to model it there, and I'm warm again. So I loved that. I loved everything. But I thought I'd show you this. I love this. I'm going to show you, try it on. I always think I don't look as... I thought that was her. I always think I don't look as good with hats on as that beautiful Kay does from Bakery Bears. Whatever hat she's wearing, I usually want to knit. She looks absolutely gorgeous. I've knit 2 of these, and so I was happy to find one in my box. It's the Althea hat from Little Lippy You, who is Lindsay. And this is, I think this is knit with some dancing dog dye work. So I've been trying to put it on like I would. And again, I've told you before, I have to have some of my bangs showing because it just feels odd to me. But do I suit it? I never wear that many hats, but when someone's knit one for you, this will be like top of my, you know, the one to grab when I'm going out. But my hair, it's getting all frizzy. But what do you think? It's just this part. I don't know what to do with the bangs because I do not like, I'll show you, I don't like when I've got no bangs showing. I don't know, I just don't like it. And then I can't tip it too far back because then it starts to fall back here. So, you better keep her down there. I do, as I said, that's the way I would wear it with a little bit of bang showing. So what do you think? Love it. And one other thing, now I've got all staticky dry hair. I know I just finished a pair of mittens, but one of the things was mittens. And I should show, mine are so skinny and tight, and these are quite big. And they're a little big on me, but they're so super warm. I mean, the thumb fits great, and they don't always have to be that tight. So I would say they fit, they're just not tight fitting like the ones I had just knit. But I love the colourway. And again, I don't actually know what this yarn is though. I could go on her page. Oh, aren't they fabulous? Love the colours. And it never bothers me that, you know, it's not supposed to be striped, I can tell that. So it doesn't bother me that this one's got a lot of green and it's further down there. Just absolutely love them. So I've got to keep them handy to grab when I go out in the cold. Alright, oh my gosh, I don't know how long this is going to be. It's a big, long one. I got some book talk. And I'll twist around again. Okay. Book talk and magazine talk. Oh my goodness, I've got lots. Let's see. Yesterday a magazine came with some candy from England, one of my swaps. The new Simply Knitting came, fabulous. again, oh my gosh, I did not tag anything, but there was some fun stuff in here. Do you see that little pencil case? How adorable is that? And you just sew a zip on. See, things like that would be great for my nieces and nephews back home. This looks really pretty, but I don't think it'll be on my list to knit. It's pretty, but there's a million other pretty ones too. Alan Dart's pattern here is called Grandma Holly, but I don't think I'd be knitting that either. I'm not sure if I've even knit an Alan Dart pattern, but I know they're so fiddly and there's lots of tiny little detail to it. I prefer something like Miss Gelato and Mrs. Bakery Bear because they just look fabulous, but are made to, they are easier to make. I just noticed this, Christmas special. Which one's this then? Oh gosh, this is January. This was, hold on a minute guys, hold on. Okay, I was a bit confused there because it showed you the picture of this, and look at, I love the pudding. I think I showed you in the last issue that this pudding was going to be in the December issue, but I haven't had the December issue. This is January. But now that I think about it, I'm still waiting for another package, and my friend might have put the December one in that package. We think it might be delayed because of customs, so if I get it, would be fabulous. I think I might have to put that Christmas pudding sweater on the needles this year. And what else was there? Anything else I was going to show? There's just lots. I just love reading them. Look, there is a tea cozy, but I hate to say the word boring, but I don't think that would be the one I knit for the tea cozy along. I think I want something a little bit more fun than that. So that is what's on my bookshelf. Oh, and I don't want to try and find it, but I fancy doing something like this. Like knitting a lampshade for my lamps. Isn't that neat? Oh, I think people will be impressed with that if they come over for coffee. So that has been on my book stand, nightstand I should say. I have got into this a little, but I'm behind. This is the book club Christmas, not book club, Christmas. The book club pick for January, The Light Between Oceans. I worked out how many pages I'm supposed to read every day to get it finished for next week, which is the meeting on January 7th. That's crazy. January 7th, next week. And I'm already behind 100 pages. So I need to spend a couple of hours more on that each day, perhaps, till I catch up. And then, Talia, thank you. Talia put in a message in the group last week, or the week before it probably was, because I'd gone looking for the pattern that Kay from the Bakery Bears had done for her headband. I just keep getting this urge to do some colour work. I haven't started any yet, but I thought, oh, that would be fabulous. I'll go look for that. And it was in a book called Stranded Knits. And I couldn't find where to buy it at all. Amazon didn't have it. It was out of print, or it was just not available, it said. And I can't remember where else. I'm not sure if I went to the website that it mentioned, but I think it would have been coming from England and it would have took forever. So I'm not sure. I just know I couldn't really get my hands on it. And then Talia put in a link. I think one of the links was England, but she put in a link, another website that the book was available at. And I treated myself, this was one of my Christmas gifts to me. Because I'm so in the mood for colour work. And let's see, I was going to show you a few pictures because I hadn't actually seen inside of it. I just know I love that headband that Kay did. That's a really pretty hat. You can knit some nice simple ones, you know, especially if you want to just give colour work a try. Fair Isle. I'm not a huge fan of Intarsia, but Fair Isle, don't mind so much, especially in the round. Then there's this beautiful, beautiful cardigan with like a with the gorgeous colours. That looks fabulous. And I'm not saying I'm going to do something that big, the cardigan. I do plan on trying to get on the needles the leftover cowl. Remember, I've mentioned that before. But I love, I mean, that looks so intricate, but with the fact that it's Fair Isle and not intarsia, and you can carry your yarn along, so much easier to do. So I fancied a few little challenges this year. This is the headband that Kay had on. Hers was a different colour, but oh gosh, I just thought that was beautiful. So, so pretty. So I fancied knitting that. Definitely will knit that soon. So that was a Christmas gift. Will not be knitting that for hubby, but I love it. Too big. And then this one's so pretty. Let me see the main picture of it. There it is. That's a nice simple one with the pretty snowflakes around the top. So I thought it was fabulous. I've never seen, oh, I just forgot, I just realised where I got this. I'd never seen a knitting book with like a cartoony kind of drawing on the front. It's really pretty. I got this at Jimmy Bean's Wool. That's the link that Talia gave me. So because I was ordering on Jimmy Bean's Wool, I ordered some yarn as a treat as well. Just one skein, but I forgot to bring it up. Might have to remember to show it next week. I treated myself to some Mad Tosh Pashmina. Just one skein. I'll try to show it next week. That'll be something to show. So that was another treat for my Christmas. And this one I'm going to, let me see. I'll show you it in Book Talk. Might touch on it again in a minute. This is out of the library, and this is where I've been reading, because this is what I want to give a try. Get a bit crafty this year as well, try some new crafts. Dies from the kitchen. Yes, I'm going to try to dye some yarn. I'm not going to be a indie dyer, I know that for sure. There's no way I'm even wanting to try to dye those absolutely gorgeous yarns that Michelle does and everybody else, all the other wonderful indie dyers. What I thought was fun though, I want to give this a try, is to dye with the stuff from my kitchens. And one of the main things that you can dye with, and I had no idea, is onion skin. Seriously. You can dye with onion skin. And let's see, tells you how to do it, how to use it. A lot of it is, in this book they're kind of dyeing fabric and stuff like that. But I want to try yarn, and I've been reading about it, the springtime colours. Let's have a look, what else? See, they were dyeing like fabric to look old, and of course one of the most common ones is tea. You can dye your fabric with tea. And you can, lots of different kinds of tea. How do you say that? How do you say that? That tea, Talia? Rooibos? I used to always think it was rubios, but it doesn't look like it's spelled that way. Black grapes, look at that. You can dye with black grapes. Trying to see where I have. So I had this at the library. I did buy a small skein of creamy coloured yarn. I think it's a cashmere blend. I'm going to try and dye for myself. Just an experiment. Now, this is just a crafty thing for me, but if it turns out well, there may come a time when I offer some naturally dyed skeins of yarn in the shop. Don't know. Don't hold me to it, but it's a fun thing to try. With that, we're moving into that book I was going to show you in this section as well, in the kitchen. So, did I insert? I think I've inserted I did it. I inserted the Christmas pudding video already because I mentioned I was going to. Excuse me. So, in the kitchen this week, we had, hold on, I might need a drink of water. The Christmas pudding was there. I'm still recording. Made brandy sauce from scratch, found an easy recipe online, and it was simply a roux where you melt butter, add the flour, and cook that a bit, you know, like a thick glumpy thing, and then you added milk gradually, so you get a thick white sauce, and you add some caster sugar, and stir that till it melts, and then you add 5 tablespoons of brandy. And that was it. Oh my gosh, it tasted absolutely delicious with the pudding. I was so amazed. Seriously, it was like, it was just as good, if not better, than the ones I remember that I used to get in the hotels if we went out for Christmas dinner. Or the Christmas works, you know, office do. We would go have turkey dinner and we'd have Christmas pudding. Excuse me, guys. I have a tiny little bit left in here and something's catching in my throat. Also in the kitchen, well, for our Christmas dinner, I didn't have turkey this year. We went with a couple of little filet mignons because we'd been gifted the Omaha steaks box. So I knew I wasn't going to buy a huge turkey again like we did for Thanksgiving. And we are kind of trying, I'll tell you this now, I'm trying to not eat as much meat. With our diet, we're going to focus on the fruits, the veg, the juicing, less processed and all that kind of thing. But I did a couple of filet mignons. I roasted some carrots and parsnips. Oh, delicious. I roasted some potatoes. I did some mashed potatoes, our favourite recipe from the Pioneer Woman with the cream cheese and the butter and the half and half cream in it. And I made some mushroom gravy. So that was our Christmas dinner, and then hubby actually tried the Christmas pud with me. He said it was all right. I mean, I don't think it was hugely impressed, but he had some with me. And so we had a really nice Christmas dinner. And here's one thing that's in the kitchen that you'll think is hilarious. In the kitchen this week, I made deodorant. Seriously, I made my own deodorant. You can look online, you can find recipes, and that's because hubby was wanting to look into getting some more natural products, and I bought a natural product from our local Sprouts, which is like a farmer's market, Whole Foods kind of shop. I bought a brand that is a natural deodorant, and it didn't really work. So I went online and said, how do I make my own? And sure enough, there's the recipes, and it's obviously it's got baking soda in it because that absorbs, and what else was there? Oh gosh, I've already forgotten what was in it. Baking soda. Duh, I don't know. I just googled it and there's lots of different recipes come out. And in fact, if you go on Etsy, there is you can buy handmade, homemade, natural, even vegan deodorant. Excuse me. Might not be helping because I've got bits of lemon in there. So yeah, I've been having some fun in the kitchen, and I'm going to do that this week. I've been collecting onion skins. I'm going to give that a try with the onion skins. So that leads me into girly chatter, which this week is going to kind of blend in with shop news. Yes, the shop, it's coming back. It never went anywhere. It's just my Etsy shop. I didn't stock it up. I was not adding anything to it. It wasn't actually closed, but there was nothing in there over Christmas. For the past month, I did want to focus on my family and the house and all that. And I've told you all this before, but got something new for Christmas. And I grabbed this because obviously I can't bring the whole thing up to show you. I got an embroidery machine. And my goal, I'm going to start, I want to say experimenting. My goal is, excuse me, to offer or to add to the shop in the new year some monogrammed knitting bags or makeup bags, whatever. I want to branch. I'm not branching away from knitting bags, but I just know that our knitting bags can be used for a lot more things. So I'm going to suggest that maybe it's the smaller ones that look like a notions bag can be like a little clutch bag or a makeup bag, things like that. But I want to do some monogrammed and personalised bags, personalised with just you know, your name, or this is what I'm going to try for me, and if they turn out looking good, they'll end up in the shop. I think I'm going to do a few bags like this, or even the drawstring, and instead of adding a monogram or my initials, I'm going to embroider something like toy or shawl or socks. And that way, I'll know exactly what's in that bag, because I've seriously, when I've got a few whips on the go, I forget what's in each bag, and I have to pull open the drawstring and I have to unzip it and say, what did I put in this bag? So if I was to do this, I'm thinking of like a nice plain linen or a little pattern, you know, half and half, so I can embroider on the linen bit. If I was to do that for this, for instance, toy, I'd know instantly that my sweet Hermione is in this bag. So that's one of the things I'm going to try this year. I am going to try the yarn dyeing, and the other thing, Bindi wanted me to try some personalised doggy blankets for her friends, and or some bones like toys, and monogram or put their names on and paw prints. She would like me to try to do that, and again, you know, I'll be experimenting. I don't know what they're going to turn out like, but if they are sale worthy, as I would say, they'll be in the shop. That might be her little part of the shop, Bindi's boutique or something, I don't know. Just lots of ideas that I had got for the shop this year. So I want to, or I have to try and make some kind of schedule where I can do this and do the house, because that's why I stopped in December. The house was getting neglected, so I do want to get motivated into being consistent with schedule, so many days, do some housework so many days. It keeps me busy. I don't have an out of the house job. My job is in the house, but there's days when I don't sit down till 5 o'clock in the afternoon to knit, because I'm in the kitchen doing things. I'm running errands, I'm at the grocery store, I'm at the groomers picking the dog up, dropping them off. I'm on the go all the time, I must admit, but I love every minute of it, so I'm not complaining. And with that, wow, that's the end of this week's episode. Was that a long one? I stopped and started, so I don't know what the combined time is, but I gave you a short one last week, so this makes up for it, I think. Do you want, I'll show you, it's snowing outside, but not big fat flakes. The snow here is so dry, you cannot normally make a snowman or a snowball. You can go like that and it just crumbles. It's like dry sand, seriously. So you can't build anything up. You can sled in it, but so that's why it's not big fat flakes right now. It's we can barely see it, but I'll turn this off, flick it around, show you for a few seconds before we finish. So here we go, guys. I'm out at the corner window. Not sure if you can see that it's snowing. I zoom in. Sometimes you can see against the houses. So zoom out so we can pan around, but again, white sky. You can barely see any mountain over there. The yard is full of snow. And again, panning around here, not much colour because it's either white or, you know, brown trees with no leaves on, or with leaves on but they're brown too. So, yeah, snow, snow and more snow. And I get to stay in, pan around but not too quickly, I get to stay in and stay cosy. And there's the sun trying to come out up there somewhere. I'm not sure if I'm actually showing you it, but anyway. So that is the view. It looks beautiful. That brings me to the end of this week's episode. Hope you've all had a nice time sitting down with me. I just love sitting here with you. Next time I see you, it'll be next year. So I want to wish everyone a wonderful, a happy, healthy, prosperous new year, as my dad always used to say. And I want to thank you again for letting me share my life with you, and for you sharing your life with me through PMs and the group interaction and all that. I want a huge thank you, and I hope you all have a safe new year. If you're out and about, drive safely. It's tomorrow night, isn't it? Yeah. We aren't going anywhere. I'll FaceTime with my sister. 5 PM here will be midnight for them, so I'll watch them see in the new year. So wherever you are and at whatever time it is, for me, I know it's midnight for you, wherever you are, you know, you'll ring in the new year at midnight. I hope it's a wonderful one, and I wish all of us just a fabulous 2015. Most importantly, for health. Gosh, I'm praying for everyone that we stay healthy, and then happy, because being healthy does make you happy. And if we can be, we'll be prosperous. So hope you've had a nice time sitting down with me, and I hope you come back next week, next year, and join me in the knitting den. Bye guys.